Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello everyone and welcome to our show. Today we discuss about digital marketing. Especially I'm excited a lot about that because we have Julian who can join. I've learned a lot from you because you have awesome YouTube channel. You create a lot of valuable content. It's a big pleasure to learn from you. And before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and why you decided to jump on this field. Because I read your story, but probably people need to know that.
Right. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Just a few words about myself. My name is Julian. A few years ago, I founded a little company called MeasureSchool, where we teach people the data-driven way of digital marketing. And I kind of specialize in the field of tracking and analytics. And you might have heard of tools like Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Data Studio. These are the tools that we really love here at MeasureSchool because they help the user, as somebody who is working in digital marketing, to measure data, to make sense of the data, and to then really turn data into something actionable. And over the last few years, I have mainly been sharing content on these topics. And nowadays, we have a little team here at MeasureSchool teaching people. We have a community that we're running. And I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Nice. Yeah. I think I don't know about your team, but I know exactly that value, online, especially on your YouTube, where you have 153,000 subscribers. Yeah, it's a lot, man. Yeah, I love it. Okay, I think digital marketing is huge. It's a big topic, and I often see when newbies wanna cover everything. I think it's not a good idea. It's better to pay attention with priorities, to find your niche. Can you tell how to find your niche, how to choose the right direction? Because we have SEO, paid marketing, social media marketing, content marketing, a lot. Just tell how to find your niche.
Yeah, I think you need to experience a lot. So when I got started with digital marketing, I think the most important part was to be open to actually starting maybe with something like SEO, PPC. Obviously, you don't need to always spend money on marketing your website. And when you get started on that, you need to be open to experience a lot of things. Some of these niches probably will only be open to you once you start working with certain tools and actually see the value in it. And that might not happen if you have just a little blog running. Maybe you need to actually work in a company or work with a company that you provide services to, for example, as a freelancer. And then you get to find these different things that some of them might interest you more, some less. And I think when I started out, I was doing a lot of SEO, and I kind of, after 1 or 2 years, not that I get bored, there's so many techniques, and SEO goes so deep into certain areas. But when it comes down to what you need to be good at it, as an SEO, is like always trying to figure out how to get these links, how to get better content onto your website, how to stay up to date with everything that's happening around Google. I was not as patient, I would say. And later I moved on to PPC, where you have a little bit more of a predictable thing in front of you, where you book in keywords and so on. But all of this kind of spanned that data was always very important. And that's when I discovered at some point Google Analytics, and I was really interested in figuring this tool out. And later, really, it came to that moment where I found that I wasn't actually able to implement the tool of Google Analytics. I always had to ask the developers. And then Google Tag Manager came around, and I kind of found my niche by helping other businesses to install Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics through Google Tag Manager. and all these other little tracking tools. And I built videos around it because it just fascinated me. And this is really what led me to the niche of analytics and tracking. And I wouldn't have gotten there if I would have just said, hey, I'm going to pick something and stick with it. It was more of a journey of like trying a lot of things and figuring them out. And maybe you like Instagram marketing or Facebook advertising or influencer marketing or so. You need to try everything out and see if it sticks for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I can explain why. For example, when I read a few interesting books, and many, even on blog posts, many authors proclaim that you need to find where your audience is. I can't agree with that because, for example, if my audience is on Twitter, but I don't like to spend time on Twitter, if I like more YouTube, I'm pretty sure that I can find my audience on YouTube. For example, my 11 years old son, he loves to post content on TikTok. So it's his social media. My wife likes Instagram. So she doesn't need to cover Pinterest if she doesn't like to spend time on Pinterest. So for me, it's better to find where your loving place, where you enjoy spending time, Yeah. And then you can convert your content according to preferences in choosing social media. So even in B2B, you can find your audience on TikTok. Just create content that satisfy their intent. Okay, I'm interested about your YouTube channel. Can you share your insights? How you got so many subscribers? Like 153,000 subscribers. Please unhide your secrets or your methods, best practices.
Yeah, the best practice is just consistency. I've been doing it for a long time. We have been posting content since 2015. And basically once a week a video, that's what you need to do in order to grow a YouTube channel. That's the easy kind of thing. Like, what do you need to do in order to become rich? You need to earn money, obviously, right? So one thing is you need to post content. Now, there are some hacks and how you can do it faster and slower and so on. And I wouldn't say that we are the biggest channel out there. Obviously, there are millions and millions of subscriber channels who got there really fast. And I see examples all the time of channels that grow way faster. But in the end, you want to, first of all, make sure that you can stay consistent and bring out content consistently out. And for me at the beginning, it was just one way to consistently publish something that I learned that week and that I wanted to bring out. And I wanted to also market my product a little bit because at that time I already had a course. And then it kind of took on the life on its own. I didn't really look at the subscriber count, and suddenly we had 8,000 subscribers, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Later, I took it a little bit more seriously. What can we do in order to grow the channel? Obviously, thumbnails are very important because thumbnails are like ads that you place on YouTube. If somebody sees your ad and nobody clicks on it, then nobody will see your video. So you better have a good ad out there. Obviously, titling is important for the search engine and so on. Researching what kind of topic you want to put into the YouTube channel itself. But it is a long journey. And for me right now, it's probably not as the highest priority anymore, as there is a kind of I don't strive to be a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel, as I don't want to go in certain places that others have gone, right? You can obviously always change around your content and make it about something very completely different. And many channels have done that. But the question for me is always like, there are very small channels out there, under 10,000 subscribers, that make way more money than we do through YouTube, just because they have found the right niche of their, I don't know, 500,000 or 1,000 people that in the world would watch that content. It's such a small niche, but they have loyal subscribers that write a lot of comments and so on. And they never get discovered. There's so many different channels out there that never really get discovered and pushed by the algorithm. And that might change also. The algorithm on YouTube is the second largest search engine. So they might change as well how they portray your videos. In the end, I wouldn't all hang it. If you want to do YouTube, you need to love it to produce these videos. You need to bring them out regularly, and you need to keep on going and finding your niche, your audience, and see if it's still fun for you. And then you can be successful on the platform, but it has all its downsides. It's the same with upsides and downsides, right? Having a lot of subscribers sometimes also means that you have a lot of people that actually don't really know what you're talking about. They just subscribe because you have a lot of subscribers. So that is also something you can kind of take into account. But YouTube has been fun, and they have changed a lot since the days. And now we have other platforms like TikTok and so on that YouTube is also under threat. But I think for us, YouTube was a really cool medium to get started with, and we'll continue placing our videos on the platform, communicating with our users, and trying to grow this even further a little bit. Yeah.
Nice. I think consistency works at any social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, at any places, because for me, I like your insights that you don't need to chase the number of subscribers. For example, I remember when Neil Patel shares that he gets like 7 million traffic a month, but some companies get like 10,000 traffic a month, and they are much bigger than Neil Patel Digital and other agencies, because you don't need to chase just metrics like subscribers. It's better to think how what kind of subscribers you have, how you can get monetize your efforts, to get results. But anyway, I wish you to get 1 million subscribers, even if you don't need it. Okay, let's get back to your main direction about paid marketing. How to find the right data? For example, I often see when some companies usually open SEMrush, Ahrefs, check out their competitors, learn how they can get traffic from Google ads, or on Facebook library we can check out. But usually competitors highlight their strong sides. They have own unique selling proposition. Can you tell how to analyze competitors, find your niche, consider your unique selling proposition, and use this data? Just tell more about finding the right data.
I guess there's also different data that is in many different ways attainable. And you mentioned some tools, some competitor analysis tools that you can get some data from, but that also only shows one or the other part of maybe PPC if you want to book something in, or if you use SEMrush or Ahrefs for SEO competitors and so on. And that's very interesting data. You shouldn't, I think, depending on what you are trying to do. So if you want to try to find your niche, and if you want to do this on the SEO side, then definitely one of these tools might help you to analyze these kind of trends that are going on. But these only show you one piece of the puzzle, right? The piece of the puzzle in that case is what is happening on Google, and they have some data to back up your suspicion maybe. And this is a good place to get started. But depending, I would always look at what is the goal. Do you want to exactly copy what the other competitors are doing? Or do you want to, for example, find your niche where you maybe are targeting the same people, but with a different product, right? And that's when you maybe want to go into more of qualitative data research. So data is out there. You might see it in different tools. These are different numbers that you see floating around in different tools. But you can also actually ask people about what they think what they think of a certain competitor, or if they would be interested in a certain service, or what their interests are, and so on. And that might give you unique insights into your target group and how to target them. So for example, if you look into SEMrush, you might see, oh, they have a lot of traffic on this website. How did they get this? Might just be that the brand is 10 years old, right? Or they have a lot of people coming through SEO, and you get like traffic through that as well. That's obviously something that you could do. But if you then think about who are the people who actually use the service, you might say, oh, these are 11-year-old or 13-year-old kids. Let's interview and maybe ask one of them, like, how do you spend your day on the internet? And then you get to certain insights that might derail what you have thought before. So, for example, young kids are maybe more on TikTok nowadays. Why don't you market through TikTok rather than starting to try to be an SEO competitor, right? So trying to gather and understand the target group, first of all, really is really important. And yes, you should gather all the data that you can get, especially for the different tools that you might have access to. But you shouldn't forget that there's a person behind this target audience, and they have needs, and they spend their day maybe in certain ways. And this is qualitative data that that you cannot go without, right? I would always say, and especially this comes true when I think of people who build new SaaS tools or software tools, right? Sometimes the developers think, oh, I will just build it and then people will come. But the customer interview before you actually go in and build something and waste your whole time of creating a competitive product, actually talking to the audience is much more fruitful, because you can actually find out, does the person actually need this product? Is it something that they actually want? And where do they actually hang out? Maybe there are forums that they hang out, other social media platforms, or maybe they're not online and you can just send them a postcard and suddenly you're bigger than the other competitor because he has never done that. So many different sources, but I would say go to the person. That's very usually very powerful.
Nice, love it. Okay, we have the question about sales funnel. Can you share? Can you share how to cover sales funnel with paid marketing? Because for organic reach, SEO we can, because we use content marketing, blog posts. But what about paid marketing? Do we need to find our sales funnel and create marketing campaigns with that, or it's better to pay attention with top funnel where we actually sell products?
Yeah, I would always say people get sometimes hung up on building better funnels, building this piece of funneling the user through. In the end, it's a user, and he may end up in your basket in the end. So if you're just starting out, you should definitely know if your business model works, right? Does somebody buy, and where do you put your effort in? How much traffic do you get from that effort? And how much people then buy. If you put a funnel in between that, it can be very powerful, but it needs to be then also measured correctly. So you need to know if the user comes from a certain campaign, if you do PPC marketing, for example, how much users come from there, how much do I pay for a user that comes into my funnel, and how far do users progress into my funnel. And then you probably need to retarget those people again if they jump off from your funnel. So funnels are something that you can think about, but I would say it's not the first step. It's something that you should be thinking about maybe down the line when you're starting to optimize your website as well.
Okay, got it. Let's talk about creating landing page. How to personalize landing page? Yeah, provide more insights about that.
Yeah, how to personalized landing page. So in the end, there are different personalization techniques. So first of all, if you know exactly who is looking at your web page, you can obviously make the landing page more personalized by saying, okay, I'm talking to this target audience, to women in their 40s right now. So maybe I shouldn't be using certain words in the copy that only young people understand, or put imagery in that is appealing to this target audience, right? Now, this is not really just personalization, it's just optimization of your landing page to the target audience. But if you want to do a real personalization, so you're talking to a person on the website itself, then you need to have some data on them so you can identify them. So that would mean, let's say somebody comes to your website and he opts into a email opt-in that you have on your website, right? Now, the next email that you can send them is, for example, a survey. And you can ask them a few questions of like, hey, how old are you? Or in which age bracket are you? How much money do you earn? Do you, I don't know, where do you live? And all of these different questions that might help you to learn about this specific customer. And then when the user, through personalization software, you can use software for this, like Write Message, for example, you can send a user back to your website, and then you can change the headline around and say like, okay, everybody who's a woman, I will actually change that headline around to, I don't know, something or the image on the landing page. I'm going to change it around to show an actual woman to personalize it for this target audience. So everybody who came to your website before and has opted into your email and you have asked and identified, this is a woman, you actually show a different image to than somebody who comes randomly to the landing page itself. And that is called personalization. You can make this better and better, obviously, the more data you have on the user and the more you want to build variations for different types of people out there. This can be very persuasive when you, for example, somebody comes from an ad from a different country, right? They come from Turkey to your website. You could automatically switch the language to Turkish. That's already an optimization in the end, a personalization for the user who just came to the website. If you find out that the person who came to your website is from a certain city, like Berlin, where I'm at right now. So Berlin, you would say, well, find, I don't know, find hairdressers in Berlin. And then I would think, oh, this is relevant to me, and therefore it's a relevant ad. I click on it, and then I come to the landing page where it also says, and it has a nice picture of Berlin, and it says, find hairdressers in Berlin. Then I would think, oh, this is a website that is specifically made for Berlin, although it's just personalized to the data points that I have on me. That's how you personalize a landing page.
Nice. Yeah, I think we have many different techniques. It's better to test them out.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about automation tools. What do you think? Do we need to use automation tools that can help to create headlines, descriptions, considering your keywords, or it's better to provide this job manually?
You mean like AI writing tools?
Yes. Yeah, we can use AI.
Okay. Yeah. So AI writing tools, do you need to use them? I guess from a perspective of creating content very fast, maybe you want to look into that. The people that I follow, the people that I know about, they always tell me that this actually, the tools, you need to learn the tools as well. You cannot just press and then it does it all for you. And you at least need to read them and say like, yeah, I like this, don't like this. And you might need to change something around. So for example, for a blog post, they can help you write blog posts faster, but they cannot replace you writing blog posts just yet. Maybe in the future that will be possible, but I haven't seen the proof yet that somebody says that is a professional copywriter or professional blog writer says like, I'm only doing everything through this tool because it's automatic and I don't have to do any work anymore, right? Because then he wouldn't be paid as a blog writer anymore. I would just get the tool. That's like kind of the my take on this whole automating thing. I mean, automation goes on in many different industries now, where bids are automated in PPC or certain data points are crunched by machine learning algorithms. And there's always like something that is coming, definitely, and it will be the future. It will give us more opportunity to do maybe the hard stuff of coming up with a strategy, for example. But until they are really automated and you can trust the automation, it will take some time. And I would say for now, you still need to always control what is the machine actually doing in the background, to ensure that you get the right results.
100%. Yeah, yeah. I use AI tools. I use a lot. But I check out manually. I edit all getting results because I can't rely to getting data. I need to check it out. Sometimes I get nonsense, full nonsense. Sometimes I can get good results. And if you edit, it saves so much time if you edit than if you write yourself from scratch. So
right.
Okay, I have the question about the future of paid marketing. What kind of future can you predict right now, forecast?
Okay, for the paid marketing.
Yeah, the whole industry.
The full industry, digital marketing, paid marketing. So one thing that trends are out there, the first one is privacy, right? Privacy has become more important over the years, especially in Europe. People are tired of getting followed around, and industries, but also on the legal side, it gets harder to measure data from customers and then using that data. So you need to have consent, and that, if you don't have full consent, then it's always hard to, or it makes it harder. Now, what we will see because of that is that we may not be able to easily set up a paid marketing campaign anymore because we are not retargeting enough users, as not as many users has actually given us consent to remarket them. So privacy is a big issue. What will happen is that Google, for example, already announced they want to phase out cookies, which is a really big part of technology in the digital marketing space. And therefore, a lot will be reliant on machine learning or gathering data points outside of our website or what we actually have in the marketing field. So I predict that marketing might get a little bit more unpredictable. We will not be able to look at data and say, okay, tomorrow I will have 50 conversions because I have turned on this and this and this campaign. You will not see the causal effect that much anymore, and the data will just be a little bit harder to read. At the same time, these marketing techniques will still be effective. We just need to be trusting them a lot more, right? So you need to come into the system and say, I give trust to you, Google, to bring me leads, for example. It's not as much as hard work, or it will still be work and hard work maybe, but in a different level, because the machines will take over some of the parts of that from us. And my prediction in the end is that we will be doing less. We will be doing more with less work, because the systems might take over some stuff, and we need to trust the tools because we are not able to control everything in the future when it comes to digital marketing. So it's kind of a new paradigm, because I entered the digital marketing world because I found it so fascinating suddenly that I can see all this data, right? If you previously did a TV advertising or in a newspaper advertising, you were not able to really see data coming through. Now in the digital marketing field, we're actually able to see where data is flowing into the system, and that will kind of become a little bit harder in the next years, I think.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I have the last question, because before the webinar, you asked me about my audience, and some of them wanna learn. They wanna be experts like you in one day, shiny day. Can you tell where to start, what to learn, what kind of books to read, which courses to take to be an expert like you?
Right. So the first thing I would say, and I cannot recommend really any books because books are sometimes outdated due to the fact that the technology always changes. In terms of what the internet has given us and what is easier than ever before, and what you are doing right now is creating content, right? So if you learn anything and actually teach other people about it, then you learn it on a different level. And the internet gives us the opportunity to produce something. And there's great mediums out there like video, podcast, writing. You can do a TikTok nowadays, a short video. You can just snap a picture as well and put a title on it. Anything that you have learned, that's when you start producing. And when you produce, you have questions. And these questions can obviously be a source of inspiration to what learn next. So for example, if I wanted to push my Instagram profile and want to have more followers, how do I actually do that, right? And you would Google for it, and there would be some interesting facts about that. You could watch some YouTube videos. You could follow some gurus that are out there that actually teach that. If you're interested in having a good YouTube channel, where do you do this? And there are always experts in every field that give out already free content that you can consume and get started with. As somebody who loves technology, I think having a website is really, really important to have somewhere where you can drive people to and have them sign up to a newsletter and get started to actually building your own audience outside of maybe the different traditional platforms that are out there. And that makes you already an expert in something. Now, maybe not in the field of tracking. In the tracking field, getting started would be a little bit different. But I think the first thing is the mindset of like, okay, if I want to expose myself to it, then I have to do this myself. A lot of this is practice. It's not reading books or following some guy on Instagram. It's much more, I need to try this out myself and see what comes of it. And you can delete your videos later on, or you can change around the topic itself. So for me, that's when my career really started, when I started publishing regularly. I actually did the podcast at the beginning, and yeah, after 20 episodes, I didn't like it anymore because getting guests on is sometimes pretty hard. But then I started the YouTube thing, and I kind of liked it a little bit more. So that's kind of the thing that you can think about. Like, what will you produce today in order to further your career in digital marketing? What can you do today?
Nice. Love it. Yeah, I think it's better to find your format. If you dislike podcast, go to YouTube. If you dislike YouTube, write blog posts. It's up to you. Yeah. If you and I couldn't agree more that when you shared about when you learn something, just share with others. It's a great way to memorize because we forget so fast. When I've learned something, I can forget for a few days about this, but when I share, when I help others, when I can discuss it, I can memorize much better. Okay, thanks a lot, Julian. It's a big pleasure to get you on my show, to learn from you. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Yeah, sure. We at MeasureSchool.com. On there, you'll find all the resources, also our video archive, and as well our little program that we have. If you want to really become a tracking expert, we have a program called Measure Masters that you can check out as well. And maybe something that if you want to learn all about digital marketing, if you want to learn all about the tracking from actual experts, we are actually running a conference in October, so this will be a little bit later in the year, where you can get a free ticket. This is all online at measuresummit.com.
Nice. Okay, guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I love it. That's cool to have this fun chat, to connect with you. And okay, guys, thanks for listening and watching us.
Thank you.